Surround yourself only with people who are going to take you higher. At the end of the day, not everyone is excited about your growth.
When the vision is clear, the decision is easy, right?
Yeah, that's good.
You need to know what your focus is. When you know your focus, then you have clarity in how to classify the people and where they go in your bus, or if they should be in your bus altogether.
Hey fam, what's going on? Welcome back. Actually, today we wanted to take a moment and talk a little bit about the right people. And something we've been thinking about and talking about is how important it is not only to have the right people with you at work, but just in life, the right people and the value that the right people bring to get you where you want to go. So let's chat.
Let's go.
Let's go.
I'm excited about this topic.
Man, actually, when this whole thing, I was thinking about this like maybe over like the last week or so. And really what it predicated from was I went to go work out and I was at the gym. And there was this guy that as I'm working out, he was like kind of across from me and he goes to do some pull-ups, right? And I pump out some pull-ups and I'm just kidding. I can't do no pull-ups. Thank you, Lord. It's okay. It's okay. Mercy. Yes. So anyways, this guy is doing these pull-ups, right? So I see him pump out maybe like 20, I don't know. And then he goes to the weight rack and grabs a weight and he puts the weight on himself and goes and cranks out more. And I'm like, hallelujah. And then he goes back, gets a heavier weight. Boom, boom, boom. Cranks out more. Third time, goes even heavier weight. And of course, he's getting slower. And he gets to a point that he can't do any more. Mm. Now, what's the value of this story? I began to think about this series of events. And I began to think, this is just like the wrong people. Mm. When you're growing, and you're on the right or the wrong people, it's easy to do what you're doing. But at some point, the longer you're with the wrong people, they become to be a weight.
That's so good.
And that weight at some point will be unsustainable for you to move forward.
It's so true.
Can we take off the weights that are stopping you from getting where you want to be?
That's good.
Let's go.
It's so good and it's so just relevant. I feel like sometimes we get so used to how things are, right? I was listening to someone say this the other day and it just resonated so much with me. Sometimes people come into your life and they become a staple just out of proximity, right?
Yeah.
Like extended family members, the people that you went to school with, right? And those are friends or relationships that kind of came into your life because of proximity. You really didn't choose them, but you hit it off. You started doing life with them, and there was really not a lot of intentionality in building those relationships. They just are. They're just relationships that are. But I think when you get to a point in life where you are serious about your growth, you're serious about your focuses and your goals, you're serious about just fulfilling, getting to know what your purpose in life is, and then pursuing that to make sure that you achieve what that is for you. You really need to start examining who's on the bus, right?
Yeah.
Who's in your circle.
And that's really what it is. So when you think about that, even that comment, who's on the bus, is really from the book Good to Great by James Collins, right? And that's that idea or that thought that he shared in the book that is like, hey, it's really three parts, right? Get the right people on the bus, get the the wrong people off the bus, and then get those people where they're supposed to be seated, right? We're not going to get into all that, but it is a great thought. And I think in work and in life, man, the right people do make the difference. And to your point, I think at some point you graduate certain relationships. And, again, it's always that tension be like, oh, don't forget where you came from. Don't forget. And like, yes and no, right? I think it's, you can love people, right? Doesn't mean like you're like, oh, don't talk to me ever again. But I think when you talk about that immediate sphere of influence, right? The people that you're doing life with, or the people that are immediately part of decisions that you make in life, or helping you move forward in life, that begins to change and evolve over time. Now, there are some people that grow with you, but there are some people that are just content to be where they are. And I love this quote. It says, surround yourself only with people who are going to take you higher. And what does that mean? Is that, well, at the end of the day, not everyone is excited about your growth.
Mm.
They are like, oh, but you're not this guy anymore, right? And actually, I was listening to someone else talk about this, the other day, and he was sharing kind of the idea of like people get used to you and the sound that you make for them. So like, I love you, but at the level you are right now.
Mm.
But when you begin to graduate that level, at some point, you're like, well, you changed. Well, it's not that you changed, it's that I'm evolving and growing. You're just not evolving and growing with me.
Yeah.
So the challenge is, hey, there's going to be some people that at some point, just like I was saying earlier, they become that weight.
Mm.
And at some point, gracefully like, hey, you know what? I don't know if you're part of my everyday life anymore.
Yeah.
And sometimes those things kind of happen organically. But I think there's some times that you have to be intentional because you have to be, no one's going to fight for you to go where you want to go.
That's good.
You have to fight for where you want to go. Like that's your fight.
Yeah.
Because no one is excited about what you have to go through but you. Right? And no one's willing to do what's necessary but you.
Yeah.
So that's that tension and that challenge when it comes to like having the right people surrounding you, whether it's at home or like your personal life and at work.
It's so good. And I kind of want to really make a good note on this.
Yeah.
Because this could be a very delicate subject for some, right? Because you could be on the other side. And if this is you or you're on the other side and maybe you have been in relationship with a group of people or just an individual and things have changed and you can kind of find yourself kind of like, like jaded, by the change. There's the right way and the wrong way to kind of give light to how these dynamics work, right?
Yeah.
Or give context to maybe some of the changes in your dynamics within, maybe a group that has evolved. And I think I love what you said about that book, Good to Great. By the way, we're going to be making a lot of suggestions in this podcast of resources that are going to help you grow, right?
Yeah.
So whenever we make a book reference, hey man, that's your cue. Write that down. Purchase that book. I know that leaders are readers. They're lifetime learners. So we always want to give you some resources.
Note takers are history makers.
That's right.
Hot off the press.
So definitely wanted to make a point out of that. But I love in that book, you said it's also about knowing where people belong in the bus.
Yeah.
Right? So this doesn't mean you're going to discard people that you love out of your life. Please know that. This is more of knowing where these people in your life fit in your bus, where you're going, right? Now, there are some people that are in your life that you might have to cut altogether. But that's not necessarily the point that we're going here in its entirety. Let's classify where people are fitting in that bus so that you can go farther or go in the direction that you want to go and you're not pulled down by, unnecessary weight like in the story that you were just sharing, right?
Yeah.
So I think that's really important to kind of note so that there's a healthy balance and healthy dynamics within all relationships in your life. So I love the topic, the right people, the people difference. Here's a really cool quote that we thought was relevant. Surround yourself only with people who are going to take you higher. I think you already said that one.
Yeah.
Lots of people want to ride with you in the limo, but will they be the person that will stick to you in the bus when the limo is not available anymore? Now, we were laughing about this. It's like, do people even ride in limos anymore? I don't know. Insert whatever, transportation.
Everybody should know what a limo is, okay? Come on now.
But the point here is everybody wants to have proximity to you when it benefits them.
Yeah.
But who are the people that you can identify that actually will stick with you when it doesn't benefit them anymore?
Yeah.
Or when it doesn't look the way that it used to look before, where you are growing and maybe they haven't entered into their season of growth, but they still want to pursue that with you.
Yeah.
Pay close attention to those people because those are people that you can build with.
Yeah.
They're not, people that are.
Those are ride or dies right there.
Yes.
You know what I'm talking about. You know what I'm talking about.
Those ride or dies, they're rare.
Yeah.
But when those type of people come around your life, and listen, that doesn't mean that that person is perfect. That doesn't mean that that person checks off every box in your life. But there's a quality about them that I think is identified as longevity, right? They have that quality of longevity, meaning they're willing to grow in the direction that you are growing.
Yeah.
And that's gold right there. I
Yeah.
feel like that's when you find someone like that, that's definitely someone worth building with.
Yeah, 100%. And I think you segued into it. It's characteristics. And what we want to give you guys is, what are those characteristics of individuals that I think, again, when you talk about, we're kind of like been on the frame of like people that you want in your immediate sphere of just general life. But even at work is understanding. And, in my lifetime, I've worked in HR circles. I've done hiring. I've had to do the firing and all those different things. And I think as a high level leader, whether you are a high level leader in an organization or you're an entrepreneur and you're your own business owner and leader, I think sometimes it's understanding like, who are the right people within your organization? And I remember I heard this, a long time ago, but it really stuck with me. And it says, because sometimes, and I've been in those conversations when we're talking about performance and, who's really moving the business forward. And, we talk a lot about, we need to focus on a C player. You need to focus on a C player. And I was hearing, and I want to say, I think it was Patrick Lencioni said this, but he said, the C player will always take care of himself, meaning he will work his way out of your company. The biggest challenge is your B player, because the B player just does enough. And the people that just do enough will never move your business forward. And I think that's that steady Eddie. That's that person that's, hey, I'm going to just do enough to stay under the radar, right? But they're not actually really moving your business forward. So I think when you're looking at, and it's almost the end of the year, and I know like it's time for, start doing, reviews, business reviews, personnel reviews. I think those are the things that you keep top of mind is like, hey, you know what? The underperformer is typically the underperformer that, again, you're going to hold them accountable. They're going to be out of the business. But those are individuals that are in that B-roll position. Two things. You either need to determine, hey, can this B become the A? Or do I really just need to make a hard decision and say, you know what? This is really just a C player, but I just really like Jimmy. I don't know why I said Jimmy. For all the Jimmys out there, we do like Jimmy, okay? We're with you, Jimmy. But it's those individuals that you need to make that hard decision, because sometimes we look past faults because we just like someone. But at the end of the day, when you're talking about a business, you have to understand, hey, I need to do what's best to grow my business forward. I can be friends with Jimmy at a later date, right?
Yeah.
But when it comes to my business, he's not moving forward, right?
That's so good.
One of the key characteristics is you want people that will help identify your blind spots and make you a better leader, right? So those individuals that are going to be a little bit more outspoken, and those are the people that provide genuine feedback to you. And I think those are the people that I think really add value to you, because, there's a lot of yes guys out there. And I'm not saying you're not going to have people that are in your corner, but I think sometimes we might surround ourselves with too many yes people.
Wow, that's so good.
That, oh man, you're the greatest, you're the best, and you can do no wrong. But there's those people, and you know who those people are. I love my wife, but that's why she my ride or die. Because if it ain't right, she'll be like, yo, babe, I'll tell you right now. Like, that was not it, right? And that's value. Why? Because at the end of the day, you want people that are going to bring accountability to those blind spots. And that's what's making you better. Not the cheers, not the applause. And sometimes, if you lack some of that, you need to become your own worst critic, right? And I'm a huge Kobe Bryant fan, and a lot of people that know this about me. And I've read like all his books that are out there. But I love this. He was his own worst critic, meaning people go, oh man, you're that dude, right? You're that guy. And he's like, well, yeah, but this game, I didn't do da 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 da. So what he was doing was canceling out the praise that he could have said, you know what? Yeah, you're right. You know what? I did have a great game. He was like, no, it was incomplete. And sometimes you have to have your own honest, hard conversations with yourself. But I believe more importantly, it's understanding like, hey, those people bring balance to your world.
That is so good, balance. Because we want you to take away. I can't say that I'm a proponent of, negative self-talk, and that's not what he's talking about when he says become your own critic. But it's for you to be able to have a healthy balance, because sometimes those blind spots can get you. Right? We all want to hear, attaboys and attagirls. We all want to hear, man, that was awesome, that was fire, whatever. And, we do need that level of affirmation from here and there, but it needs to be balanced, because if it's not, then those blind spots. And I'm not talking about, because we also say this all the time, focus on your strengths. And your weaknesses and your areas of opportunity. If you focus too much on that, then you get stuck on that. There has to be a balance, and the balance meaning, okay, these are some blind spots that if I ignore them and I don't do anything about them, they're not going to move the needle forward.
Yeah.
And I also believe it takes a level of maturity, personal maturity, to appreciate that.
Yeah.
Have you ever been around someone where they get some not passive aggressive, criticism, not cancel culture, but, someone is telling them just some constructive criticism. Hey, you know what? You did great. I love the sandwich method. You did great. Here's an opportunity. And then another positive affirmation, like you can do it better, right?
Yeah.
And they take it personal and they get defensive and they don't know how to accept that. And they miss out on the value of taking that in for what it is and say, you know what? I'm looking to get better. You know what? You're the real one.
Yeah.
You're the real one for saying that to me. Now, of course, there's tonality and, you got to discern, who you're allowed to speak into your life, right? You can't just allow anybody to come and speak into your life if they haven't, have the merit to do so. But when you see someone that does not accept constructive criticism, especially when it's been given and delivered in the right way, watch out for that person.
Yeah.
Because that person still has a little bit of growing to do. And I am not a proponent of throwing away people, but putting them in the bus in the right seat. Knowing, okay, you know what? They need to grow a little bit more, right?
Yeah.
They're going to go in this seat.
Maybe they go in the back of the bus.
Maybe they go in the back of the bus.
Get a special ticket here.
Yeah.
Row Z.
I think that is so important for us to be so self-aware.
Yeah.
Number one, know where our focuses should be, right? I heard this quote once that has resonated with me for the longest time, and is when the vision is clear, the decision is easy, right?
Yeah, that's
good.
good.
You need to know what your focus is. When you know your focus, then you have clarity in how to classify the people and where they go in your bus, or if they should be in your bus altogether.
Yeah.
Right? So those are some things to really look into. Number one, for yourself. Am I someone that's self-aware enough that I can recognize when you have the right constructive criticism?
Yeah.
Because there's some stuff that you just have to shut out. There's just some negativity that we ain't about. Okay. Yeah. So you're not going to be in the bus. I'm just telling you right now. But there's some other people that are genuine. I had a friend, and she might be watching this, the other day when we were doing some promotion for the pod, and I had posted something and misspelled it. And she texted me immediately and she said, hey, I love everything that you're doing, but I just took the screenshot. I want you to know you misspelled that. Go fix it. The real one.
Those are the real ones. Those are the real ones.
The real one. And she was like, I hope you don't mind. No.
Not the one that would have shouted out in the comment.
Exactly.
You know who you are. Just kidding.
Oh, yes, that too. But she was the real one.
Yeah.
Because she was like, hey, man, I love what you're doing. But girl, I want you to look good. Go fix that right now.
Yeah.
And I was like, no, thank you for that. That's the type of people I want in my life, right?
Yeah.
The ones that are going to correct you in public when it needs to be. They know the right space and the right method to do it, but don't shy away from saying the things that might be difficult to make you better.
Yeah, 100%. I'll say the next one, or the next characteristic, and I love this one, is the moving forward people, right? These are the individuals that are always marching ahead, right? Always pushing forward.
I love those guys.
And to me, it's those people that move you forward, that motivate you. My boy, I'm sure he's going to watch this at some point, that I work out with, always moving, always right. Like, oh man, we're gonna do this. Hey, and those are people that energize me. Why? Because they're challenging always to come up. Right. And you want people that are always going to lift the lid, right? Those are lift the lid kind of people because they're always moving forward.
And I was just going to say, if you're around someone that is always forward thinking and it bothers you, that's a red flag for you. That's huge. We want to be self-aware leaders, right? And if you're around someone that, maybe their forward movement, their, winning in life begins to bother you, that is a red flag for you. And you have two choices. You can either begin some introspection and say, okay, you know what? Why is this bothering me? What do I need to grow in? And that's really important because you always want to be challenged by people that are doing forward movement, that maybe even are ahead of you. That should always encourage you, excite you, and say, you know what, man, I'm going to get there. Or, that makes me want to push myself in this area, right? You're getting encouragement from that interaction and not seeing seeds of jealousy, for example, or anything that goes along those lines. That's a red flag that we need to identify and deal with so that we can stay healthy leaders.
Yeah.
There's so many leaders that
That's
aren't
a good call out.
healthy.
That's a great call out.
You can think about it as a plug in the stream of growth. The moment that you see something that is just not sitting well with you and it should sit well with you, that's a plug, that's a lid that you need to deal with so that you stay healthy. Because healthy leaders, they create healthy relationships, they create healthy families, healthy organizations, healthy businesses.
Yeah.
And that's what growth is all about. We can't choose what rubs us the right way and the wrong way and shy away from it, because then that's where we get stagnant.
Yeah.
No, you know what? Leaders are always being challenged. Leaders welcome challenge. I have a really good friend of mine, and this is one quote that I love that she says all the time. The highest form of love is accountability. And, that is a real powerful statement. I love you enough to keep you accountable.
Yeah.
Right? Again, I'm a huge proponent. Not everybody gets to speak into your life, but the ones that you have deemed people that are worthy to speak into your life, that have actual fruit, they're actually walking in the way that you want to walk or in the path that you want to walk, that have some seasoning and some substance to their lives. And you can say, you know what? I admire that, or I see that, and that's what I want for me. Those people have a right to speak into your life.
Yeah.
When they do, and it rubs you the wrong way, that's a red flag for you. You need to deal with that so that you stay healthy.
That's really good. That's really good. And that's what it is, because you don't want to grow in a healthy way. Or when you start shying away from those people, what are you doing? You're stunting your own growth. So that was so powerful, right? So I love that I'm moving forward and how you connect with those moving forward people. Mm-hmm. That's a great check. I love that. So good.
It's a gift. Let me tell you something right now. I want all the forward moving people.
Yeah.
Like, those are my people. Like, it doesn't matter what arenas they're in, what spheres they're in, what, their niches are in their business, even their walks of life and seasons of life. We were talking about this just a few moments ago before we got onto this episode. And we're talking about the diversity in relationships, right? It is okay for you to have diversity. I think it's healthy for you to have diversity in your relationships, meaning they don't need to look like you. They don't need to be like you, but there's some commonalities that need to bind you together or bring you together. Forward movement is one of them.
Oh, that's good. Yeah, those foundational things that are the same. Yeah.
100%. I have friends that are 40 years older than me. Believe it or not, I have friends that are maybe 15, 20 years younger than me. I get wisdom and I get benefit. My cup gets full from both of them. I have friends that are in different seasons of life than me. I have friends that have different hobbies than me, different nationalities. That is healthy. However, mindset has to bring me together with them.
Yeah.
I was sharing this example with you earlier. It's like the fun coworker, right? Just because I value that they're fun, but maybe they're toxic in their mentality, that doesn't mean that is a good match for them to be in my circle, right? Because I value someone that is fun. No, I want to be in relationship with fun people, but we have to have the same mindset, right? There has to be that commonality. So forward movement people, those are my favorite.
Yeah, I love it. The third one is the doer, which love doers. And again, we are very forward moving people, and we love doing so.
I think they go together.
Yes, it's kind of hand in hand. But doers are the individuals that make the plans but execute.
Oh,
right?
come on.
There are people that, and I'm sure you have them and you know them, that they have made 100 plans and have done nothing. Right? So those are the challenging individuals, right? Where like weren't you going to do this? And then they've moved on to something else without even doing the first thing. And I think it's understanding like, hey, look, you want people that have that plan, execute that plan, right? They're doers. Why? Because I think one, it speaks to me credibility. Like, man, there's a trail of things that I've seen you accomplish over time. You're not just like the one hit wonder. You have shown consistency. And sometimes, again, it's not like you've done grandiose things, but whatever you set your mind to, man, you get after it, right? You see it to its fulfillment, or its completion. And to me, I think that is where the value is when you meet and you're around people that like, man, they set the target, man, but they're willing to roll up the sleeves, right? Do the hard work to get to where they need to be. To accomplish whatever that one set goal is, right? And again, in some ways, it's the moving forward person, but it's a little bit more unique because even the forward moving people, I think their mindset is just always like, okay, let's, where's the next goal? Where's the next
visionary?
They're very visionary, very achieve mindset, right? But the doer is like, hey, you know what? How do we get that next 10 yards, right? And I'm using like a football analogy. It's every, a football team, you can go for the deep pass, right? And that's great. But they talk about like the running, pounding game, which is, hey, look we need 10 yards. Let's just go get the 10 yards. Those are the doers. Like, hey, just give me the ball. I'm going to run and we're going to work to get the next 10 yards. Not just looking for the touchdown right away. We're going to do the hard work of going the next 10 yards, right? So to me, that's that doer.
That is so good. And I think every organization needs that, right?
Yeah.
We all have those strengths that make you better. There is a huge parallel between an organization, a team, a business, whatever you might, find yourself in your personal life. You want to have people also in your personal life. They're going to fill those places that are going to just make you better, right? Yeah. I feel like, doers are the people that, kind of inspire you to make sure you focus on the little thing, and then the next little thing, and then the next little thing. I had a friend that said once, the greatest threat and enemy to your vision or to your idea is your next big idea.
Wow, that's good. Yes.
Why? Because when you're a visionary, you're not short of them.
Yeah.
Because you're just seeing long term, right?
Yeah.
And as you're seeing the long term, you're seeing all the possibilities and the next steps and the different things that you want to do. But the truth is that the doer knows that principle of, hey, let's accomplish the first one so that we can move on to the next.
Yeah.
So you do need the doers in your life.
Yeah.
And if you are a doer, we love you.
Yeah.
And you're also our favorite people because us visionary, we need them doers in our lives.
Yeah,
okay?
and it's balance, right? I think that those, there's the people that move you forward. Mm-hmm. I think there's the people that hold you accountable. Mm-hmm. There's the people that just help you get it done. Mm-hmm. And I think, that one in the middle, if I consider there's one in the middle, I can't necessarily classify this person, but I think there's just people that can value the moment you're in. And there's some people that are just like, it's like let's smell the roses for a minute kind of people. Yeah. Like hey, I'm going to move forward with you. We're going to do this, but hold on. Did you see this? This was so funny, right? They're the people that kind of keep you grounded in the moment.
Yes.
And those are essential as well. So I think when you're thinking in your personal sphere of influence, you want those forward-moving people, you want the doers, but you need that one person that helps kind of keep you grounded and just recognizing, hey, let's appreciate and let's value what's happening right now. And sometimes that's so critical because again, too much of one thing is not a good thing.
Exactly.
Right. Too much of the move, like at some point it can get exhausting. That's why you need that person be like, yo, let's go watch a movie today. Right.
Yeah.
Or that individual is going to just help like, hey, we're going to go there, but we can take a 10.
Yeah.
And that person adds a lot of value.
I would say if I leave you guys with anything is we need people.
Yeah.
Don't be a lone ranger in life. Don't be a lone ranger in your journey of growth or in your organization that you're building. We need people. And when we have first that notion of clarity that we need people, then we can focus on who are the right people you want to surround yourself with, to surround your organization with, and then you can move forward in knowing where they fit.
Yeah.
In proximity to what you're building, whether it's your life, your business or organization, or anything that you put your hand to. We need people. We need people, and we need to be intentional to seek out those people.
Yeah.
I know a lot of people that, because of past experiences, have kind of closed themselves off to the idea of bringing new, fresh relationships into their lives. That's a trap. That's something that, again, a blind spot that you need to work on so that your life continues to be a growing life, that you're moving forward into growth and not stagnation. So people are important, but more importantly, the right people.
Get the right people. So our last quick shot before we break out, a big thought. This was coming. I think it's two-part. What kind of people drain you? If you can give one characteristics, and what do you think is the most impactful characteristic that helps you? One and one.
That's good. I thought I was going to get asked a different question. That one I can talk to. Man, I gotta say, the people that drain me the most, yes, negative people, but gossiping people.
Gossipers.
Oh my gosh. If I have a pet peeve, I'm gonna tell you right now, if you're gonna be in a relationship with me, don't come talk to me about other people. Talk to me about growing. Talk to me about moving forward.
Yeah.
Don't come and talk to me, even if you think, oh, I need someone to vent. I'm not it.
Yeah.
Let's find you a counselor. Slander and all that. I can't do it. So that's a huge red flag for me.
Yeah.
Like for me, if someone feels comfortable in doing that kind of a thing, then that's someone that, is not going to be on the bus. So I would say, people that just have that toxic mindset of talking about others that are kind of negative, drain me, completely drain me. So
and what is the one positive one?
The one positive one, I would say, just people that, I guess, the moving forward people that are always looking to build something, people that are easy.
Yeah.
Have you ever been around someone that is just hard to connect with? Just easy people that when you're with them, you just like, man, I want to get to know you more. You're cool, man. Like, I love how you think. I love your fit. I love easy people. Give me life. I love that.
Yeah, that's so good. Excellent, man. Well, thank you guys for sharing. And hope you guys do some big talk on your own. But appreciate you guys. And let's get it.
Let's get it. Let's go.